Good evening, guys. Um, uh, I know it's been a really long time. It's been a really long time. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And as you all know, sorry, I have sore throat. As you all know, my name is Jay Biggs, and it's been a very, very, very long time. Like I think it's almost a year now. Yeah, it's almost a year that we had an analysis or I posted on YouTube. I've been trying to really focus on myself, building myself for the past a year, for 1 year. So, and I had other stuff I was doing. So I had to really leave anything that has to do with social media for a long time because I had other things that I was doing, and also I didn't want anything to just distract me. So, but I am fully back. I'm really, really fully back, and I want to really be um I want to really be very committed to my videos, right? Making the videos, putting them online, and putting them on the what's it called on the channel, right? On the channel. So sorry, I'm really rusty, right? I'm really, really rusty, right? Because it's been a long time I spoke online, right? So if you're new to your YouTube channel, kindly press the subscribe button and turn on your notification button to know when I actually post a video on the channel, right? So, like we always do, um, I want to go over the pairs that I'm actually looking out for this um throughout the year actually, or throughout this ending of this year and also next year, right? So we're starting from the higher time frame, right? So I know if you can see my screen, I have a couple of pairs that I'm actually looking at. Right, so I'm actually looking at mostly USGPY. If you look at mostly USGPY, um, I posted this particular reaction here, this particular reaction on this order block, right? Before the reaction here on the order block, we actually caught this move from this point here. So I sold here from this point and I sold off to this point. I think it was this region I actually exited this trade, right? So I posted all this on my Telegram group. So if you go on my Telegram group, you actually see it on the Telegram group, and the link is in the description below, right? I'll put the link actually in the description below, right? So this was where I actually got into the trade on USDJPY, right? So I'm still looking for a sell on USDPY. I would have entered this buy, but I was extremely very busy. I was very, very busy. I couldn't look at any chart or anything, so I was very busy. Right. So this is exactly where I'm actually looking out for long term, right? On a longer term scale. Let's go back to let's go to our weekly, right? Let's go to our weekly. Everything is scattered in our weekly, right? So I'm going to remove everything, right? I'm going to remove everything. Right, so we have a clear chart, right? So I want us to go over the charts together, right? From the top-down analysis, right? So let's go back to our monthly, right? Now, if you want to draw your zones, especially on your monthly time frame, if you want to draw your zones on the monthly time frame, you can actually use your line chart to actually be very, very clear on your zones, right? I actually use the line chart a lot, and that's where I see the obvious ones, right? The obvious zones where I'm actually looking out for on the trade. Now we can actually see obvious ones. We have this one right here. We have this right here. Let's go back to this. This is the obvious one. We have this, right? Let's extend it back. Let's see if we can see some levels. We have one touch, we have this two touch, and we have just the two touch. So it's not that obvious. So let's use something that has touched like 3 times or 4 times, right? Uh, I actually use round numbers, right? I use round numbers on USD JPY, right? That's basically what I use on USD JPY, right? So we have one touch, we have this two touch, we have this three touch around this region. So around this region looks a little bit obvious, but here is actually where I'll be looking out for around this region here. And if you can see, we are almost at that point, right? We are almost at that point around the 153 region, and there's actually that's where my target is actually is on USDJPY, right? On USDJPY, that's actually where my target is. So let's go back to the line chart again. We are going to look for the zones on the monthly is not that really clear. The ones that are actually obvious are still far, right? We have this one, I have this one, I have this level, we have this one touch, two touch, three touch. So we have had almost five touch around this region, right? Which is actually the 123 region, right? So if I'm going to use the round numbers that I actually use, so this is 123. I'm going to use 123 on this, right? So yeah, so that's 123. Um, let's go to our weekly. Our weekly should be extremely clear because the monthly is not that clear, right? Okay. Okay, let me highlight the monthly first. Let's highlight the monthly first. So, all right, so this is the zone I'm actually looking out for. 153. So on the monthly, these are the two obvious zones that I'm looking out for on the monthly. Right. So these are especially the 153 level, right? The 153 level. So let me put it into the round number 153. So yeah, so this is where you can actually see you can see that that's where we actually have reactions from 153, right? We are at 153 level, right? So let's go back to, we also have, okay, we can see here, we can see this point here. Okay, okay, this one is pretty obvious. This one's pretty obvious. We have one touch, we have one, two, we have three, right? So this particular region is also obvious, but it's too close. You understand? So this is actually our 140 region. This is 140 region. So I it's 140, right? So these are 140 region. So these are actually our monthly levels, right? These are the monthly levels, and this is just what we are actually working with. These are our monthly levels, right? So let's go to the weekly, right? So we can actually see. So when we scale down to the weekly, we might see we might see something better on our weekly, right? All right, so we're back to our weekly. This is our weekly level. Right, so you can actually see how price is reacting from the 153 region, right? We have this region here, we have this region here. We also have these are our weekly region. So we have okay, let me use this. Sorry. So we have, I can see one particular obvious region. So we have this, which is actually our 144 region. This was exactly where I was waiting for the trade to come back to. You understand? So we have one touch, we have this two touch, and we have this three touch, we have this four touch. So we have almost five touch around 144 region, right? So this is 145. So I'm going to use 145 on this. Remember that I actually use round numbers. I use round numbers on um uh for USDJPY, right? So we have 153 or 145 level, right? So this was where I was waiting for price to come back to around 145, right? Around 145. So I think if you draw a trend line, you can actually see that it actually aligns beautifully with the trend line. So we have Uh, yeah, so we have the first touch, which is this. We have this touch here. We have the second touch here. So I was waiting for price to really come back, right? Come back to this point before I actually look for a buying opportunity. Let's go back to the daily, right? So this is, you can see now that the daily is very, very clear. You can see that actually from the daily, we have this one touch, we have this two touch, we have this three and the four, we have almost five touch around this region. So this region was actually the point around the 145 region was where I was looking out for on the trade, right? I was looking out for 145 region to actually buy, right? But price didn't get back there. Price didn't come back there. So price came back to um still the 145 level. We can actually see that the trend line is actually on our 145 level, but we didn't get 145 level. And if you look at it very closely on the 145, we have a structure that was actually broken. This was the high, right? This was the high. So we are actually looking for a correction back to this downside. I'm still looking for a sell on this, right? Because we can actually see a change of market structure. Can actually see a shift and a change of character. Here we have broken, right? This has been broken. You can see that here it has been taken out here. So all I'll be looking out for now, I'm looking for a trade around this point here to sell. I'm still looking for a trade around this point to sell, right? So once price gets to this region, then I'll be looking for to sell to 145. Now, 145 is a region where I'll be looking for my buying opportunity, right? I'm not going to sell on my I'm not going to sell here on the higher time frame. I'm going to definitely scale down to my scale down to my smaller time frame, scale down to my smaller time frame before I actually sell. Right. So this is exactly where I'm looking at for price of 145 region. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry. Okay, so around the 145 region is actually where I'm looking for my selling opportunity, one buying opportunity, right? So let's go to our 4 hour. 4 hour also is where I scale down to look for my entries, right? Now we can actually see that we have an inner trend line that was broken, right? Which I actually had. If you check my channel, if you check my YouTube channel, also my Telegram group, which I'll put in my link in my description below, I actually have this trend line here that was broken, right? So all I was waiting for was price to break this trend line before I look for a selling opportunity. So here I'm looking for a selling opportunity around this region, right? So it is around this region I'll be looking for to sell UJ back to the downside, right? I'm going to sell UJ around this region I'm going to sorry taking a short position around this region back to the downside. So definitely I'm still going to scale down. Still going to scale down to my entry which is my 1 hour. I'm going to scale down there. There are some things I actually look out for before I take any trade, right? So I'm still going to scale down to my 1 hour to take a trade. Now you can actually see that there is also a trend line confluence, right? There's also a trend line confluence. So if we have one touch, this is one touch here, we have the second touch, right? So if we can see the third touch around this point here, right? So we'll be taking it back down to this point, right? So this is exactly where I'll be looking at for my sell. I'll be looking out for a sell on USD JPY. So that's about USD JPY. Let's go to um let's go to GBUSD. So GBUSD, I'm actually looking for a buying opportunity on GBUSD. I'm still looking for price to come back down to this point right here, right? I'm still looking for price to come back down to 1.23 level. So 1.23 level is a level that I'll be looking out for. One, if we took our Fibonacci from from A to B, right? So from this point A, from point A to this point B, we extended it out. You can actually see that 1.23 level aligns with 0.786 level. So this is where I'll be looking. I'm still expecting that maybe price will still come back down here. Price will still come back down before I look for my selling opportunity on USGPY, right? So every level, every we can actually see that there was also a change of character and also a break of market structure. There was a break of market structure here. There was a break of market structure here. But I'm still looking at this point as a point of liquidity, right? We're looking at this point as a point of liquidity. So I'm expecting that price will come back to take out these lows here, right? Let me remove this. Okay, better. So I'm looking at price to come back to take out this low here. So once they take out this low here, let me say, so this low is a point of liquidity, right? So once they take out this low, then I'm expecting that price might come back. Price might come back to this point that aligns with the trend line, right? Come back to this point that aligns with trend line before we see a buying opportunity to the upside, right? So that's on my GBP USD, GBP USD. I'm also looking at a sell on USD CAD, right? I'm looking at a sell on USD CAD. But where I'm actually looking for a sell on USD CAD, I'm looking at a sell at 1.38, right? 1.38. We can see that 1.38 actually aligns with the trend line, which we have this. We have second touch, right? So I'm actually looking for the third short touch. If you can see a third touch around this region here, around 1.38, right? 1.38. Then we can see a sort of rejection. A rejection, right? A rejection maybe on the higher time frame. Then I'm taking price back down to 1.34. So that's where my exit on that trade will be. And we can actually see that there is also a liquidity here. So I'm expecting them to come back to take out this liquidity at this point here. They come back to take out this liquidity, right? Remember, this is a swing trade, so we have to be very patient with every single trade and allow the price to do what it wants to do. So this is exactly where I'm looking for to sell my USD CAD, right? So we have one touch, we have two touch, we have three touch, and we are also in a channel. We can see that we are actually in a channel. And if you go back to our daily, you can see it very clearly that we are in a channel. So all I'm waiting for now is price to come back. Let's see if we can get a push back to 1.38. So 1.38, once we see a rejection on, we'll wait for it maybe on the daily to see how the daily candle closes before we can take price to the downside. But still, I'm still very skeptical about this trade, right? So, but also we're going to I'm using US oil as an indicator, right, on USD CAD, right? Because the Canadian economy is very is very dependent on oil, right? So I'm actually looking at US oil as an indicator, right? That's why I have my US oil here. Right? So I'm actually using it as an indicator to know if that place or if that point on 1.38 is still valid on USD CAD. Right? So if it's still valid and we see some sort of rejection here, then we can actually go to take it lower on USD CAD. So these are the trades I'm actually looking out for on. These are the trades that give me good setups, right? But I also have NASDAQ too, but I'm still skeptical on NASDAQ, very skeptical on it. The bias has already happened, so but I'm still skeptical on it. But the ones I'm actually looking out for on NASDAQ is the ones I'm actually looking out for. I'm still skeptical on NASDAQ, so I'm actually going to close the trade. Okay, yeah, I have Aussie here, Aussie dollar. So On the Aussie dollar, I'm looking at the buying opportunity on Aussie dollar. So I'm expecting price to come back to 0.64 around this region here. Around this region here is where I'll be looking for my buying opportunity on Aussie dollar. So we can actually see that structure has been taken out. We see first structure here taken out, right? Structure here form a new high. So we are waiting for them to come back, right? Now, if you place your Fibonacci, if you place your Fibonacci from the low to this high, you can actually see that there is an alignment with 0.786 Fibonacci retracement level with the 0.64, right? So I'm waiting for price to come back here to 0.64, give me a very good entry before I take price to the upside, right? So these are the trades that I have for the week that I'm actually looking out for. I hope you enjoy the class or what I'm actually setups I'm looking out for. I'm still going to give you a recap on the trades, if it was a good trade or if it was a bad trade, or if we didn't get an entry or not. So all those will be placed on my Telegram group, right? So the link will be in the description below. If you like this kind of content and you also want me to continue, you can try to give me a thumbs up and give me a comment, then I will know that I should continue with the class or with this kind of um with this kind of class. And I actually want to be doing it maybe on I don't know what I'll call it yet, but I actually want to be doing it on Mondays, right? So maybe to be technical Mondays, right? So every Monday I'll be doing my analysis. Every Monday, if there are adjustments, then definitely you see the adjustments, right? So cheers and God bless. Thank you very much.